FCC proposes $208 million in fines for wireless carriers that sold your location for years. The FCC has officially and finally determined that the major wireless carriers in the U.S. broke the law by secretly selling subscribers' location data for years with almost no constraints or disclosure. But its commissioners decried the $208 million penalty proposed to be paid by these enormously rich corporations, calling it not properly proportioned to the consumer harm suffered. Under the proposed fines, T-Mobile would pay $91 million, AT&T, $57 million, Verizon, $48 million, and Sprint, $12 million. Disclosure: TechCrunch is owned by Verizon Media. This does not affect our coverage in the slightest. The case has stretched on for more than a year and a half after initial reports that private companies were accessing and selling real-time subscriber location data to anyone willing to pay. Such a blatant abuse of consumers' privacy caused an immediate outcry, and carriers responded with apparent chagrin, but often failed to terminate or even evaluate these programs in a timely fashion. It turns out they were run with almost no oversight at all, with responsibility delegated to the third-party companies to ensure compliance. LocationSmart didn't just sell mobile phone locations, it leaked them. Meanwhile, the FCC was called on to investigate the nature of these offenses, and spent more than a year doing so in near total silence, with even its own commissioners calling out the agency's lack of communication on such a serious issue. Finally, in January, FCC Chairman Ajit Pai, who, it really must be noted here, formerly worked for one of the main companies implicated, Securus, announced that the investigation had found the carriers had indeed violated federal law and would soon be punished. Carriers violated federal law by selling your location data, FCC tells Congress. Today brings the official documentation of the fines, as well as commentary from the Commission. In the documents, the carriers are described as not only doing something bad, but doing it poorly, and especially in T-Mobile's case, continuing to do it well after they said they'd stop. We find that T-Mobile apparently disclosed its customers' location information, without their consent, to third parties who were not authorized to receive it. In addition, even after highly publicized incidents put the company on notice that its safeguards for protecting customer location information were inadequate, T-Mobile apparently continued to sell access to its customers' location information for the better part of a year without putting in place reasonable safeguards, leaving its customers' data at unreasonable risk of unauthorized disclosure. The general feeling seems to be that while it's commendable to recognize this violation and propose what could be considered substantial fines, the whole thing. For more on this story, visit the news article link.